So first we'll press Shift-A, search for mesh, go to icosphere, go to the subdivisions, change that to a 5, then right click and shade smooth. Then over here in our render settings, if you're using Eevee, change this to check ambient occlusion, check bloom, and check green space reflections. Then you can go down here, change the look to a medium-ish contrast. You can change it to something medium or high, something like that. And so yeah, then select your camera, go to camera view, go to your camera settings, switch the focal length to a 102 to get a nice view of the mesh. Then we can go over here and switch to rendered preview, and then go over here, turn off scene world, and make sure you have the strength set to a 1. So this will give us some nice 3D lighting. And then go back over here to your render settings, and on film, make sure you do not have transparent selected right now. You can select that at the end if you're looking to render your material as a single image, but for the tutorial, we're going to have this off until I do the render at the end. So next, we'll head over to the shading workspace. You can set it up however you want, but make sure you have the 3D viewport set up, and then go over here, change the render settings to the same as the viewport. You can select this HDR to change it. I'm going to be using this foresty one. Then go back over to your camera view, like so. Then you can go ahead and save this document however you want. Then press new here, and then we'll zoom in a little bit and call this our gold leaflet material thingy. I don't know. It looks like gold leaflets, and so that's what I'll call it. Hit Shift-A, search up a noise texture. With this selected, press Ctrl-T. And if you don't get this when you press Ctrl-T, go over here to Edit Preferences, go to Add-ons, and search up the Node Wrangler add-on, and then check the box next to it. Then on this texture coordinate, take the object into the vector of the mapping, so that we have the texture wrapping around the object. Then on this noise texture, we're going to be leaving the scale at a 5, switching the detail to a 16, and the roughness to a 0.4. And if you're figuring out how to preview this node and how you get this right here, just Control Shift and left click, and you can do it again once you're already on the factor to see what the color is looking like and stuff like that. But we're just going to be using the factor in this tutorial. Then you can select these and grab them to move them a little farther away to give us some more space. And then we'll press Shift-A and add ourselves a color ramp, because we're going to go ahead and add in the colors for the gold. So on this black, we're going to be changing the hex value to a FFBC00. Again, that is an FFBC00. Then enter, and then we have our gold color there. And this one over here is going to be a little darker, and this value is on the hex a 9E7A13. Again, that's a 9E7A13. Then press enter, and we have our gold colors. And all we have to do now is take this and plug it into our base color here. Then the next step is we're going to be hitting Shift-A, adding ourselves a Musgrave texture, like so. And then take the vector from the mapping into the vector of the Musgrave texture, Control Shift and left click to preview. We're going to switch the detail on this guy to a 16, dimension to a 0.1, and the lacularity to a 1.5, which gives us some nice, cool bump stuff looking here. Then we'll press Shift-A, search up another color ramp. This is going to factor into some bump for us. And we're simply going to take this second color here, the white, and we're going to be switching the value on this guy to a 0.1, like so, just so we don't have a lot of contrast going on here, because we do want the gold to be pretty smooth still, even though we don't want it to be perfectly refined. Anyways, the next step is we're going to hit Shift-A, search ourselves a bump node, like this, take the color from the color ramp into our height, Control Shift left click to preview the shader, take the normal from this, plug it into the normal of the shader. As you can see, we're a little bit strong right now, but that's really easy to fix. We're going to take the strength down to a 0.1, so that we just have a little bit of leaflet stuff going on here. And then after that, we are going to take our metallic up here, move it all the way up to a 1, give it a minute to load in, and we can sort of see our leaflet starting to load in. But this material is a bit too rough. As we can see, the light's not really reflecting off of it, sort of just getting scattered everywhere. And if that's the look you're going for, you can leave it like this. and leave the roughness at a 0.5. But if you want to further be able to adjust this, you can simply take this color ramp and plug it into the roughness here, and that's going to make it a lot shinier. This is the material you see in the thumbnail, and that's pretty epic. And as always, you can hit Shift A and add yourself another color ramp here, right here, in between the roughness and the original color ramp. And if you leave it on black and white, you'll have the full range of colors. But in addition to that, you can go here, Control-Shift left click to preview, and you can change the lowest color it gets to something like a 0.2. And then you can Control-Shift and left click the shader again, and you can make it rougher, more of like something you'd see on maybe some sort of plate or something that's been used before. But yeah, anyways, those are some cool things you can do with the roughness to get some different effects. This one's more of like refined gold leaflet thing. But yeah, anyways, that is the end of the material. And it was a really simple one. Hopefully you enjoyed, and come back for another one if you need help in the future. I'll see you later.